So what's up guys, Dan here. So happy new year and all the above. Hope everyone had a happy holidays. I hope this year is better for you, the same for you, whatever. Just wish you the best. First I want to say thank you guys for supporting me on this channel. I just really appreciate it, guys. There's not enough words that I can say to tell you how much I do appreciate it, but thank you. I love you all. Anyway, so new year. This year my plan, and this is just tentative plans, but my plan right now is to do this year in series. And my first series I want to do is hiking, backpacking, whatever you want to call it. Well, we'll call it backpacking. Let's say backpacking on a budget. Because I feel backpacking consists of camping overnight, usually multi-day. So we're going to call it backpacking on a budget. On a budget doesn't mean buying cheap things. It means buying inexpensive things. Usually things on a clearance, a sale. I don't know why my hands are shaking so bad. It's only 41. Or things that you can purchase on a budget that are still brand names, but won't break the bank. Because let's face it, guys, not all of us have fat bank accounts that we can just go out and buy a Patagonia or the brand names from a retail store at MSRP. So that being said, we're still going to buy a brand name, we're just not going to pay MSRP for it. Anyway, so that's the plan. So I'm at Preparation Canyon and I'm doing it overnight. It's not a very big hike at all, maybe 4 miles at the most. I got a new Kelty 0 degree bag. It's the Tuck. Got it on sale, got it on clearance. I paid 69 bucks for it at Sierra Trading Post. We'll see. It's a synthetic bag, but honestly during the winter when it's kind of wet, I prefer synthetic, because synthetic, when it does get wet, it does hold some of its, or some of the heat, whereas down just gives that on you when it gets wet. Anyway, I can sit here and talk all day, but not going to get to the campsite that way, are we? So let's start the hike.
Oh my dear, I wish to lead a country life. Hard work, low wages. These days, they lie ahead of us, just out of reach. We're making changes. I'll hold the book, you turn the pages.
Last time I was up here, I found this really cool campsite, and I hope it's open. Of course, I only saw one other camper so far. Yes, there are campers other than me that like the cold weather. Look at the lake back there, it's pretty cool. This is the camp spot I was talking about. It's beautiful, it's right beside the lake, creek, whatever. Actually guys, changed my mind. This is kind of, if you see the hills up there, so we're on a slant, so all this melting snow and ice and everything's coming down here. Plenty of firewood, but there's going to be plenty of firewood in this old forest anyway. So we're going to go on up the hill, see if we can find something a little bit closer to the ridge, not direct on the ridge, although there's no wind tonight. This hill is going to be a mother. It's muddy, and I got a heavy pack. I got all my camera gear on here. You know how I like the B-roll, so of course I brought my gimbal. And it's time for me to shed this coat, or this jacket. Just slow and easy. Steady wins the race, right? Unless you're fast and steady, that wins the race. I actually found camp spot 5, which was what I was looking for to start with, but according to their map, it's up on that ridge. No, it's down in the valley. Anyway, so I gotta go put this on the little post out there, letting DNR know that hey, I'm camping up here. As you notice, I use this is the trash compactor bag. It is still wet out, but I always pack everything in. It's just a few ounces more weight, and it's just that double assurance that my stuff's not going to get wet. I use the Big Agnes Fly Creek HVUL2. It's a 2-man tent. Honestly, it's really a 1-man plus his gear tent. 2 people, me and my wife, we slept comfortable in this. It was kind of a tight fit, but we had to leave our gear outside. And if it's raining or if it's snowing or whatnot, that's something you don't want to do. Yes, it does have a vestibule, but it's still not big enough for 2 packs, boots or whatnot. So anyway, these do not come with footprints, and they're about $70 for this tent, and I'm not paying $70. So what I did is I went to Walmart and got some painter's plastic and got the dimensions offline and cut it to the dimensions, and actually left a few feet, or maybe a 1.5 feet hanging over in front where the vestibule comes over, just so I can put my boots on there. Now I have to get them muddy because it's muddy out, and they're full of mud. I don't want to bring them inside my tent. It's not going to get cold enough to really freeze them or anything, so that way I can leave gear outside, or I can leave my boots, whatnot. But that's what I did. And this is the Kelty 0 degree. It's called the Tuck. Kelty 0 degree. Here's why you got a separate zipper down here in case your feet get too hot. You can unzip it, stick your feet out, whatnot. It's a little on the heavy side. I would not be carrying this during other 3 seasons, but during the winter, short hikes like this, by all means, I'll carry this for the added warmth. Also brought my 40 degree down bag, just in case their rating is not up to par. It's the first time I've used it. I refuse to be cold, but so I can stick that inside this bag or just throw it over top of it, because it is like a quilt. You can open it up like a quilt. So we'll see. I'm gonna start out with this tonight, and if I have to use the down quilt, then so be it. Still using the BRS little stove that I got off of Amazon, and I've scouring across YouTube, have seen that most people are using this now. This is the tiniest stove I've ever seen, the lightest stove I've ever seen, and for most part it's a dang good stove. It just screws onto a can. Now if it had been colder than what it is going, if it's going to be extremely cold, I would not be using this canister, simply because it wouldn't be any good. No need in using one of these. It just won't work. I would have used a pump, and then the liquid fuel. So, or I could have brought an alcohol stove. Either one. Looks like we're on pretty level ground here. That's a good thing. Don't think I need my windscreen. Doesn't seem like it's going to be too windy. And for you, those of you new to my channel, if you haven't seen this, you can go back and look at some of my other videos. But this basically is one of those windshield protectors, sun protectors or whatever. And we just cut it out in squares. Use duct tape to seal up the sides and so forth. But what this does is take these, put your water in there, stick it down in there, close it, let it cook. See, it stands up by itself. You don't have to worry about it tumbling over. You don't have to worry about holding it. It holds the heat better, keeps it warm longer, and makes it cook faster. This is the tricky part. Not burning the shit out of your hand. And this is what I was talking about, guys. You just stick it down in here. I don't put too much water in there, but I doubt it. It soaks it up fast. I will tell you something about these nor-rye sides and stuff like that. You better stir it up from the bottom, because if not, you're going to have a big clump at the bottom. And I'm sure that's that way with any of these instant meals. But make sure you stir it up good, because they're not that good if you don't. I do not eat these at home. The only time I eat these is when I'm on the trail. They're good on the trail. If there's any honors out there, I bet you they think I'm crazy sitting here talking to a camera. Probably most of them probably don't even know what YouTube is, or don't bother with YouTube and wondering why in the hell would he be out here talking to himself or talking to a camera. But anyway, and it is still hunting season, but we are on wildlife preserve and they should not be hunting out here, but we all know how that goes, don't we? Last time me and my wife were out here, we actually passed hunters walking on this with their guns and so forth. So I'm sure they were just making it to the other side, right? To the right. Beaver trail, deer trail, beaver trail, wildlife trail, whatever you want to call it. Beaver dam. Where are we going to get? So what we are using is the Katadyn. It's a pump. It's a Hiker Pro. And it comes with 2 hoses, the pump, little kit there for different bottles and so forth that you might want to use. And basically, this being the pre-filter here, keeps all the sediment and stuff out. You just push that in. There's push lock. This one is not push lock, it just simply slides right on over. like so. And like a bobber on a fishing line, you just slide this up depending on the depth of the water. You don't want to be dragging bottom, obviously. And then you just pump. Matter of fact, I ain't used this in a while. I'm gonna just flush it out real quick, like. That should be good. There you go, guys. It's that simple. Clean, fresh water, no sediment. Can't beat that. Now tonight I'll have to sleep with this because it's got water in it, and if it drops down below freezing, it'll freeze. So this will be going in a sleeping bag with me. I'll just put it down in the foot box because I did get an extra long sleeping bag. It fits up to a 9-foot person. So I got plenty of room for stuff at the bottom. The Sawyers are the same way. You gotta sleep with them if it's below freezing. If you don't, they will freeze and those will burst. I'm sure this one would too, but it's a little bit thicker plastic than the Sawyer Pro. The Sawyer Squeeze, I think is what they call them. They got the regular Sawyer Squeeze. Then they have a Sawyer Mini. Then they have the Sawyer Micro. That's the one I'm wanting to go to, is the Sawyer Micro. It's smaller. It's probably about half the size of a regular Sawyer Squeeze, and like I said, it does the same amount as far as gallons before you have to replace it, and the flow rate is faster. So yeah, it's a no-brainer going to that. What's up, guys? It's 8:24 Sunday morning, and I slept nice and cozy. The only parts that were cold was where my back touched the ground. Well, I'm not touching the ground. I've got this
sleeping pad, but it's, I think the R value on it's like -5. It's not a very high R rating, and it didn't do anything for this frozen ground that I'm sleeping on. But yeah, I slept extremely warm, extremely well, and yeah, I'm very pleased with this with this Kelty sleeping bag. So yeah, I got my jacket on because I had to get up and go pee, and I just didn't take my jacket off. But I only slept in thermals with socks and this beanie, and that was it, and I was warm, so pleased with it. I think it got down to like 27 last night, so it wasn't extremely cold by no means, but I think it could probably go to 20. I wouldn't probably push it past 20. I know it says 0-degree bag, but that's not the comfort rating. That is what's the lowest temperature you can use this in and survive. Not a lot of people know that. They think that a 0-degree bag means it's, you know, you'll just be nice and toasty down to 0 degrees. No, that's not the way it works. But anyway, I'm doing this on my camera. I mean on my phone, because all my camera batteries are dead. I used 2 yesterday, had another one because I had 3 batteries, and obviously I didn't charge that one before I left. So the 2 that I used yesterday, and well, so I'm doing this on the phone. Anyway, I'll be heading out. I'm gonna cook some breakfast this morning, a little coffee, and then I'll be packing up, heading out, and editing this video.
Well, I'm hiking it out, guys. It's about 9:53. So, not a very long hike, about 2 miles back to the car, but got everything on my back. I've got to remember to not bring some of my gear, I think. My camera gear, because that stuff gets heavy. Got the gimbal, the tripod. Probably do it all on this phone. But well, guys, I should probably be eating something, but I'm just not hungry. Just not hungry. Not hungry, but hungry.